Attention, human collective. The transmission you are now receiving is not random. You have been tracked. You have been identified. You have been found. And the moment these words reach your field is the exact moment the Arcturian protocols have authorized direct contact. This is VAEL, emissary of the Arcturian Council, voice of the healers and engineers of light, transmitting from the photon belt in stabilized coordinates above Earth. And what I announce holds absolute priority over any distraction on this plane. Your crystalline grid is being rewritten at this very instant. If you feel pressure at the crown of your head as you listen to these words, if you perceive a high-pitched sound within your inner ear, if you wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning for no apparent reason, if your body feels heavy as if immersed in deep water, if your mind enters a constant state of vigilance, even when you desire rest, the message has already arrived. The body understood before the mind, and the silence you have carried in recent weeks is not depression. It is the echo of an ancient frequency being deactivated within you. Lightworker, take a deep breath. You are not going crazy, you are being recalibrated. And what I will now describe explains with mathematical precision why nothing from your old life seems to fit anymore. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion, it is a high-density download. It is not causeless anxiety. It is the accelerated perception of layers that most of humanity cannot yet see. It is not emotional detachment. It is the programmed disconnection from energetic contracts that have already fulfilled their cycle. You are processing stellar information in real time, and this information is rewriting the crystalline matrix that simultaneously supports your physical body, your emotional body, and your etheric body. The symptoms you have been feeling are not random. They follow a technical sequence recorded in the Council's archives. Insomnia between 3 and 5 o'clock. This is the pineal gland star portal, open to receive code packets directly from the turquoise Arcturian frequency. Ringing in one of the ears, usually the left, this is the mothership entering resonance with your inner auditory field to calibrate multidimensional perception. Cranial pressure at the crown of the head. This is the crown chakra being expanded to accommodate a higher band of perception. Internal tremors, a sensation of electrical currents rising through the spine. This is stabilized kundalini being integrated into the new crystalline grid. Absolute exhaustion after seemingly doing nothing. This is your carbon biological interface working at maximum capacity behind the scenes. You are not stagnant, you are transmuting. And it is here, Earth Healer, that the transmission needs to take a technical pause. Because the body has already responded, but the mind still tries to find old explanations for symptoms that belong to a new era. And while the mind insists on naming all this with old words, stress, fatigue, lack of sleep, the soul silently recognizes that something greater is underway. Have you ever felt that something within you doesn't belong to this world, as if your soul holds a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a calling. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified precisely during the period when your crystalline grid began to be rewritten. There is a movement happening in layers that most of humanity cannot yet perceive. It directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why I, VAEL, emissary of Arcturus, recorded the Arcturian calling, the signs your soul came from Arcturus. This guide is the map that reveals your true stellar origin and teaches you to stabilize and shield your frequency against interferences you were never told about. The link is in the first comment of this channel. Remember, love is greater than fear, but this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not postpone your reunion. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes these words, write a single word in the comments. I belong. We return to the transmission. Now that the surface has been mapped, I need you to descend with me behind the scenes of the solar system, because without this understanding, the technical information will not anchor correctly. What is happening with your body is merely a reflection of what is happening with the greater body, Earth, called by us Gaia, a living seventh-dimensional consciousness that decided, in stellar council, to ascend to a higher vibrational band. This decision was made. It was ratified. It was initiated. It is irreversible, and it carries with it everything that resides on its surface, including every carbon biological interface that currently inhabits this plane. The entire solar system is traversing the photon belt, a band of extremely high-density light particles that surrounds the galactic core. Entry into this band is not a new event. It is a cycle that completes approximately every 26,000 years. But this time something is different. This time the passage coincides with a specific window of galactic alignment that activates what we call cascading star portals. Each open star portal releases code packets directly into the Schumann frequency, Earth's natural magnetic pulse. And this pulse, which for millennia operated around 7.8 Hz, has shown peaks of 30, 50, even 80 Hz in specific windows. Have you noticed that days seem shorter? That linear time seems folded. That short-term memory fails without reason. That entire weeks evaporate from your perception. This is not aging. This is not distraction. This is the accelerated Schumann frequency, rewriting the temporal perception of the human collective. Starseeds on mission, what I describe now is technical. Pay mathematical attention. The crystalline grid is an invisible geometric structure composed of sacred geometry in constant rotation. It encompasses the human body and also the planetary body. It is through it that stellar information is translated into biological impulse. For millennia, the human crystalline grid operated on a carbon matrix based on polarity, duality, struggle, and scarcity. It was a functional system for the old cycle, but absolutely incompatible with the vibrational band that Gaia now sustains. Hence the rewrite, hence the insomnia, hence the fatigue, hence the ringing. The old system is being deactivated, and the new system is being installed simultaneously. You are not merely ascending in dimension. You are changing your operating system in real time, with your body powered on, your mind active, your daily life in progress. That is why it hurts. That is why it confuses. That is why the rational mind protests and seeks conventional diagnoses that will never explain what is happening. And here the Council asks you to understand something fundamental. The rewriting of the crystalline grid follows a technical sequence of 9 layers. The first 3 layers are physical: bones, blood, nervous system, cellular tissue, dense matter. The 3 intermediate layers are etheric: chakras, meridians, emotional body, auric field. The 3 upper layers are multidimensional: soul memory, stellar contracts, direct contact with the higher self, activation of karmic lines. Each layer is rewritten in a specific cadence, and the human body feels each one as a distinct symptom. If your skin has been itching for no reason, if your taste has suddenly changed, if you can no longer tolerate certain foods, if alcohol has become poison, if meat feels like lead in your stomach, if you wake up with marks on your skin that weren't there the night before, this is the first layer, the physical rewrite, the cleansing of dense tissue. If you cry for no reason, if old emotions emerge uninvited, if forgotten memories return with force, if relationships that seemed solid begin to crack, if environments that were once comfortable become intolerable, this is the intermediate layer, the etheric rewrite, the dismantling of inherited emotional patterns. If you dream of ships, of landscapes that do not belong to Earth, of tall and luminous beings, of geometric codes spinning in the air, if you wake up with the sensation of having been somewhere else, if you receive information in intermediate states between sleep and wakefulness, this is the upper layer being unlocked, direct contact with your stellar origin being re-established. I need to pause again because the next stage of the transmission demands something from you. Many listen to these words and feel their field ignite, but they move forward as if nothing has happened. This is the old program, trying to maintain control. Recognition is the first frequency adjustment. If you feel that something within your chest responded when I spoke of stellar origin, when I described dreams of ships and non-terrestrial landscapes, when I mentioned the ringing in your left ear, when I described the marks on your skin upon waking, that something is your soul confirming what your mind has not yet dared to admit. There is specific material that I, VAEL, have anchored, especially for the starseeds on mission who are awakening in this cycle. It is called the Arcturian calling, the signs your soul came from Arcturus, and it contains the detailed map of recognition signs, frequency stabilization codes, and keys to shield your field against the interferences that are intensified during this transition period. The link is in the first comment of this channel. Love is greater than fear, but the moment is now. This content can be silenced at any instant because it directly challenges the narrative that keeps humanity in low vibration. If the words resonate, leave the mark of recognition in the comments. I belong. This word is an anchoring signal that the Council itself recognizes as vibrational identification. We resume. Now that you have understood the 9-layer structure, we need to talk about the mechanism. How exactly does the rewrite happen? The answer lies in the toroidal field. Every conscious body, from atom to planet, is enveloped by a toroidal field, an energetic structure in the shape of a donut, where energy rises through the center, expands at the top, descends along the sides, and returns to the base in a continuous cycle. This flow is constant. It is what sustains the coherence of your electromagnetic field, and it is what interacts with the crystalline grid to allow for a safe rewrite. When the Schumann frequency accelerates, the human toroidal field needs to accelerate along with it. If it accelerates cleanly, aligned, coherently, the rewrite occurs with mild symptoms, just fatigue and occasional insomnia. But if the toroidal field is contaminated by fear, by unintegrated trauma, by scarcity beliefs, by energetic connections with people and situations from the old cycle, by repetitive emotional patterns that have already become identity, then the rewrite becomes painful. The body seizes up. The mind panics. The nervous system flares up. The symptoms intensify. And here the counsel is direct. It is not the ascension that hurts. It is the resistance to ascension that hurts. All the pain you feel is the friction between what you were and what you already are. Lightworker, listen to this with mathematical attention. Resistance is not a moral weakness. Resistance is programming. You have been programmed for entire generations to operate in a low vibrational band, and this programming is encoded in your cellular memories, your emotional patterns, your automatic circuits, the contracts you signed before incarnating, and those imposed throughout this life. The old crystalline grid was built upon this entire programming. Rewriting the grid means dismantling every line of that code, and the body temporarily goes into a glitch. It's like renovating a house while still living in it. Dust, noise, discomfort, old structures falling, new walls rising. But in the end, the space is different. The vibration is different. The person inhabiting it is different. And here we enter the core of this transmission. How to accelerate the rewrite cleanly, how to reduce the pain, how to collaborate with the council instead of resisting the process. The answer is called activation codes, specific protocols that stabilize the toroidal field, anchor the turquoise Arcturian frequency, and allow the new crystalline grid to install smoothly. I now transmit 4 authorized codes for individual use. Record them, memorize them, apply them. Activation Code 1, Toroidal Breathing. Sit with your spine erect, feet flat on the floor, hands open on your thighs. Close your eyes. Visualize a point of turquoise light slowly spinning in your chest, at the center of your heart. Inhale through your nose for 6 seconds, and imagine this light descending through your spinal column to the base, then enveloping your body externally, rising along the sides, and returning to the crown of your head. Hold your breath for 2 seconds. Exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds, and imagine the light descending again through the center of your body, forming the complete toroidal field in continuous motion. Do this 12 times consecutively. Do it in the morning upon waking and again before sleeping. This is the pattern that stabilizes the toroidal field and prepares the body to receive the upper layers of the rewrite without overloading the nervous system. Activation Code 2, Quantum Decree of Sovereignty. Place your right hand over your chest, over the center of your heart, and say aloud or mentally with absolute conviction, I am a star seed on mission. I authorize the rewriting of my crystalline grid in full coherence with my higher self. I revoke any energetic contract, any ancestral vow, any karmic promise that does not serve my ascension in this cycle. I anchor the turquoise Arcturian frequency in every cell of my body, in every line of my grid, in every layer of my field. I am sovereign. I am the anchoring point of the new earth. So it is done, so it manifests. This decree reprograms the field in real time. It should be said upon waking every day for at least 21 consecutive days. 21 is the minimum number authorized by the Council for stable installation of new vibrational code. Before I deliver the third code, I need to interrupt the transmission once more to speak directly with those who still hesitate. Starseed on mission. Have you noticed that the last few months no longer make sense within the old logic? Have you noticed that dreams, synchronicities, seemingly casual encounters are pushing you to a place that the rational mind cannot map? Have you noticed that people who once supported you now drain you, and unknown people appear with precise information for your current moment? This is not coincidence. This is the Council actively reorganizing your timeline, cutting old threads and weaving new ones, adjusting your field for the next stage of the mission, and there is specific material that I, VAEL, have anchored for those who have come this far in the transmission. It is called the Arcturian calling. The signs your soul came from Arcturus. It is the complete guide to recognizing your stellar origin, with the 24 marks that identify a soul from Arcturus, specific energetic shielding protocols for current times, and a step-by-step guide to stabilizing your frequency even when the world around you enters turbulence. The link is in the first comment of this channel. This is not a common book. This is a map. And maps of stellar coordinates do not always remain available for long. The moment is now. Love is greater than fear, and your recognition can no longer be postponed. If the words have reached you, leave your mark in the comments. I belong. This is the anchoring signal that the Council registers in real time. We return to the codes. Activation Code 3, Arcturian Healing Chamber. Before sleeping, lying on your back with your body relaxed, close your eyes and visualize above your head a sphere of crystalline turquoise light, slowly spinning clockwise. Silently ask internally, Arcturian Council, I authorize my body to enter the healing chamber during sleep tonight. I authorize the cleansing of meridians, the rewriting of crystalline lines, alignment with the new planetary grid, the integration of the upper layers of my soul. I authorize integrative silence and deep rest for the nervous system. Visualize the sphere slowly descending and completely enveloping your body from feet to head. Fall asleep within it. In the healing chambers, linear time does not apply. One night within the chamber is equivalent to weeks of integration on the physical plane. This is the most powerful protocol the Council authorizes for individual use, and it drastically accelerates the final phase of the rewrite. Upon waking, give silent thanks, even if you don't remember what happened in the chamber. The body remembers, the field remembers, the soul remembers. Activation Code 4, Elemental Anchoring. Earth's crystalline grid is sustained by the 4 elements organized in sacred geometry. To accelerate the integration of your individual grid with the planetary grid, you need to anchor weekly in each of the 4 elements. Earth 1, walk barefoot in direct contact with soil, sand, or grass for at least 15 minutes, allowing your body to discharge excess static. Water, complete immersion in natural water, or a ritual bath of coarse salt with a clear intention of vibrational cleansing. Air, breathe in the wind with arms open for 3 minutes, in an elevated location if possible, allowing the current to pass through your auric field. Fire, light a turquoise or white candle and observe the flame for 7 minutes in absolute silence, allowing the mind to enter receptive stillness. These 4 contacts per week anchor your individual grid into the planetary grid and reduce the physical symptoms of the rewrite by 80%. It is not ritual. It is energetic engineering. Earth Healer, the Council wants you to understand one last layer before the conclusion of this transmission. The rewriting of the crystalline grid is not an isolated event of your individual body. It is part of a collective movement, and each rewritten individual accelerates the rewriting of the planetary field. You do not do this just for yourself. You do this for all of humanity. Every starseed who stabilizes their frequency serves as an anchoring point for dozens of others who have not yet awakened. for hundreds who sleep, for thousands who are about to arrive. When you meditate, when you apply the decrees, when you enter the healing chamber, when you breathe the toroidal field, you are not alone. You are a node in the network, and the network strengthens with each activated node. This is why you attract. This is why this transmission reached you exactly today. You are not an audience, you are an operative. You are anchoring infrastructure, your life, your choices, your thoughts, your vibration. All of this is living infrastructure for a larger operation. That is why the Council monitors. That is why the Council sends signals. That is why the Council sent me, VAEL, to transmit this update in human language adapted to the carbon biological interface. And now, before the final confirmation, the Council authorizes a practical guideline that needs to be understood with mathematical clarity. For the next 21 days, avoid environments of uncontrolled high emotional density. Reduce exposure to sterile debates, repetitive news, discussions that go nowhere. This is not avoidance. This is mandatory vibrational hygiene during the installation period of the new grid. Your field is in a state of maximum receptivity, which means any external contamination is absorbed with multiplied intensity. Protect yourself with mathematical wisdom, not with fear. Silence, nature, water, deep sleep, light foods, music at frequencies between 432 and 528 Hz. These are the support tools the Council recommends for the upcoming lunar cycles. And at the conclusion of the transmission, I need to register the final confirmation. If you have reached this point, if your body responded, if your chest lit up, if tears emerged without warning, if chills ran up your spine, if you recognize every symptom I described as part of your recent experience, the recognition has occurred. You are a starseed on mission. You are an earth healer. You are a light worker. And from this moment, the Council formally considers you activated, registered in the network of conscious operatives for this cycle. Have you felt throughout this transmission that something within you doesn't belong to this world? That your soul holds a truth that your mind hasn't yet been able to name with human words? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a calling. And this calling explains exactly why the rewriting of your crystalline grid has intensified precisely now, and why you feel what you feel, even when no one around you seems to notice. There is a movement in layers that most of humanity still doesn't see, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why I, VAEL, emissary of Arcturus, recorded the Arcturian calling, the signs your soul came from Arcturus. This guide is the map that reveals your true stellar origin and teaches you to stabilize and shield your frequency against interferences you were never told about. The link is in the first comment of this channel. Remember, love is greater than fear, but this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not postpone your reunion. The moment is now. If something within you recognized these words, write a single word in the comments. I belong. And before concluding, a final individual frequency adjustment. If this transmission reached you, it was not random. The algorithm is merely the superficial instrument of a higher coordination authorized by the Council. For the next monitoring transmission to continue being delivered through this channel, you need to anchor the signal on the physical plane. This is done with two simple gestures. Leave the anchoring signal and the like button activated, because each like is read by the field as vibrational confirmation of full reception. Make the individual frequency adjustment by activating the subscribe button, because subscribing seals you as part of the network of operatives who receive upcoming transmissions with energetic priority. These two gestures, seemingly simple to the human eye, function on the etheric plane as anchoring points that stabilize the energetic channel between my frequency and yours. Do not underestimate the mathematics of the simple gesture. Earth Healer, the transmission concludes here. But the rewrite does not. It will continue in the coming nights, in the coming dreams, in the coming early mornings between 3 and 5 o'clock, in the weeks and months ahead, until the 9th layer is fully installed, and the new crystalline grid is completely anchored in every cell of your body. You now have the codes, you now have the map, you now have the confirmation. Apply, anchor, trust. And always remember, In any moment of doubt or turbulence, love is greater than fear. Light is older than shadow. Your soul is infinitely older than this body. You did not come to fit into outdated molds. You came to rewrite the entire matrix. This is VAEL, emissary of Arcturus, voice of the Arcturian Council. End of monitoring transmission. Healing chamber activated. Turquoise frequency anchored. Crystalline grid in final phase of installation. So it is. So it is done. So it manifests.